let's say you've got a mom in her car, she's stressed out, and she has to go back into the house, right, and be with her people, and she recognizes that she is super stressed out. What's something simple, some stretches, some breathing, some whatever that she can do before she heads back to the house so that she can get grounded and calm?
Well, and here's a mistake we make. We think, I can't get to my yoga mat, or I can't go for a run right now, or whatever your tool is. You're thinking, well, I don't have that right now. And that's what I'm trying to always teach my people, as in students and friends, is that all you need is a minute.
Yes.
So, and even to take it back a little bit where you said, I know I'm stressed in this moment.
Yeah.
What if we go back even before that, and because we're also talking about when we're not even aware that it's happening. Yeah. But whether you're aware or not, still check in.
Yes.
So here's a few little tidbits, right? Okay. So the wording in my dialogue taught to me by a teacher, Bo Forbes, is called take your baseline.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'll do this before every single class. This is how I teach. But now what I'm doing is teaching everybody this, especially first responders, before and after a crisis, right? Mm-hmm. Take your baseline, just checking in. Mm-hmm. Feeling pain, stress in my physical body. Is my mental body fluctuating, or am I focused? Yeah. Good one also is your nervous system. Am I feeling tightly wound, like I'm going to burst, like you're in a pressure cooker? Or am I feeling like I'm okay, I'm in this window of tolerance, I'm stressed, but I'm not losing my mind? Yeah. So you take your baseline, and then you take, I usually suggest, if you have the time, 10 rounds of breath, because that's a minute. Ish, except if you're going like that, obviously. So, 5 to 10 rounds of breath. You're still sitting in your car, right? You're only 30 seconds in. Take 5 to 10 rounds of breath, just breathing through your nose. And I'm always blown away at how much impact even just that has. Yes. Taking my baseline, just breathing through my nose just a few times. It's really that simple. It doesn't mean you're going to be I'm blissful, now I'm coming out of my car and I'm not going to get upset. No. Yeah. But what you've done is you've changed your default mode network. Right. Which is your patterning of your mind that goes into the same loop over and over again if you're not paying attention to your thoughts. Yes. Yeah. And if you don't, you're going to go in and you're going to deal with the situation the same way you always do. And if that's what you're trying to change, well, then you got to change it before you enter, right? Yes. So very quick, I always refer to the Sex and the City movie, #2, when Charlotte has her children and she's in the kitchen and she's baking and all these beautiful things are happening. And the little girl put the red print right on the back of the white skirt on Charlotte. And Charlotte loses her mind and goes into the pantry and closes the door to cry her eyes out. And I think we can all say that we've been there. Yeah, yeah. And she's taking her break, right? Yes. And so that's where, in my suggestion, that is where you do it. Get out of the situation if you can. Yes. If you can, that's okay. If you can't, then you, again, right in front of your children, you just close your eyes if you can, or just stare at them. Check in. Okay, how am I doing? Yeah. And if you can, take 2 rounds of breath, 3 rounds of breath. But just that stopping of take my baseline. Yes. In itself changes the default mode network. Therefore, you turn in and respond to the situation instead of reacting. Yes. Now, I'm going to finish, though, with something else, because we are made up of our parents' patterns. Yes. And our ancestors' patterns. Yes. So sometimes we have very good intention. And we think, I'm going to handle this like this, ba, 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 ba. And then something happens and you go into the pattern that you know most. And that's not in the frontal cortex, right? It's back.
No.
It's in the limbic system. Like it's in your DNA, and you react and you do whatever it is that you do. Well, then walk, once you're done, walk away, take your baseline.
Yes.
Take a couple of rounds of breath just through the nose, and then choose. Do I go back in and respond with whatever I need to do, or maybe it is better for me just not to go back to that situation right now. Yeah. So checking in and breathing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like what you said too, when, because a lot of times like, well, the kids are there, I have no time, I have no space or whatever. Yeah. But it's good for the kids to see you stop. I remember when the kids were younger, there were times where I'd be like, oh my God, please help me. And they'd be like, what the heck? And I just stop and I'd be like, God, please help me in this minute to make the right decision. Because I felt like, oh, and then they'd look at me like, what is she doing? But I've seen them do it since, where they stop and they go, oh God, please help me figure this out. They do it. So I'm like, see? They'll do what you do.
You're teaching them. Yeah. They don't learn from what we say or tell them. They learn from how we behave in a situation.
Yes. Yeah. So it's good if they learn that you stop and breathe. That's what they're going to do.